Russian vodka pulled from shelves, Ukrainian liquors added instead. This is only one small step from area businesses to show their solidarity with the Ukrainian people. Well, from higher gas prices to added costs at the grocery store and a volatile stock market, Marylanders will experience the economic impacts of this crisis. And joining us now from Towson University is Dr. Darius Arani. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for inviting me on.
Let's talk a little bit about the economy, because I think we see a lot of this, the acts of war play out on television, but we don't actually see what it could mean for our wallets up front and personal. Tell me how this could affect Americans on a regular basis.
So I think the first order of business, obviously, is Russia is about 10% of oil production in the worldwide.
Sure.
So, that could push oil prices up. And some pundits are estimating that, $120 a barrel would not be out of the realm, which would be about a $4 price of the gas per gallon.
Wow.
Which could then, put up, inflation to the 8 to 9% range. So that could be really sort of a trigger. And we don't import very much gas or oil from Russia, but it's the fact that oil is a worldwide commodity. And as such, if there's any disruption in one part of it, it impacts the rest of the world market. So that could impact it. And then also, both Russia and Ukraine, both of them combined supply about 30% of global wheat exports.
Wheat, okay.
Yeah, wheat. So then Ukraine's 15% of corn exports, and those growing regions are very close to the Russian border. So while food prices tend not to be a big portion of the consumer household expenditures in terms of the makeup for inflation, that does have an opportunity to impact people's pocketbooks when they go grocery shopping.
Sure. Hey, I'll back you up a little bit to the oil, because I think a lot of times we equate that to just pulling up to the gas station and it hits us there per gallon. But this could affect travel too, because I'm guessing for planes and things, I mean, you got to fuel those as well, and that could end up affecting ticket prices, yeah?
Oh, most certainly. So everything, everything that's sort of fossil-based fuel is going to be impacted. So everything from your heating, natural gas, heating oil, airlines, trucking, diesel fuel, all those things will be could see significant price increases over the next couple of months, depending upon how long this invasion continues, and how long the sanctions go on. So it is, since almost a half a century, the U.S. U.S. energy prices have been sort of subjected to worldwide events in the Middle East, now with Russia. So, this might present an opportunity to sort of look at maybe energy independence.
Okay.
And maybe looking at diversifying our portfolio of energy, maybe not so much on the fossil fuel, but maybe having sort of renewable energy resources.
What do you, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
So sometimes these crises, can maybe spur investment. I know the Europeans are seriously considering trying to divest themselves as much as possible from Russian natural gas, because it's a significant portion of their energy portfolio, and as we see here, it's very subject to sort of the whims of of Putin.
What do you make of companies like Apple and Ford and others? I think we listed about 5 this morning, all deciding that, listen, we're going to stop production, not going to sell things there in Russia. What's the trickle down there for both sides, really?
Well, for the Russian consumer, it's probably a very bad outcome. For these worldwide companies, I mean, Russia is not a major economy. It's a large economy,
okay.
But nowhere near, say, China, Japan, or even the European Union. So it's about a $2 trillion a year economy, if I'm not mistaken. So it's big, but it's not it's not that big. So these companies will have some loss, but obviously, I think it's probably sometimes more important to show solidarity with the Ukrainians.
One last question for you. A lot of people have money in the stock market, and I'm sure they're going to see a fluctuation for however long this all goes on. Could it hit people hard if you have money invested?
Yeah, you're going to see basically the stocks kind of, because of the uncertainty that's created, stock markets are going to be a roller coaster. And it's very important to consider, if you have a long-term strategy, not to sort of, panic and sell, because basically, I think as people have said, you will lock in those losses. So in the long term, this is going to be a blip.
Okay.
in terms of stock market performance. So, play the long game.
All right. That's Dr. Darius Irani over at Towson University. Thank you so much this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the same.